Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So as you know, the MODERE compensation structure and package is what we call the career path, is a convergence. Social retail is a convergence of industries, a convergence of space. It's taking the best of the direct selling space and the best of the online e-commerce space and converging them together. So some of the technologies and some of the practices with the links and so on in this customer pod idea all comes from this idea from e-commerce. And then some of the idea comes from the direct selling space. We've taken the very best of models and put this all together. So as you're hearing this, I would encourage you to learn this stuff, to get it to a point where you actually know this stuff. But as you're learning, there's two things you need to know. And there's only really two things you need to know, and you need to know them really well. You need to know how to earn shares, what that means, and you need to learn how to become a team leader. And for some of you are thinking, so what do I teach my team? Guess what you're going to teach them? To earn shares and become a team leader, right? Earn shares, become a team leader. So I'm going to take most of the time walking through how do you earn shares and how do you become a team leader. Because once you understand those kind of basic concepts, the entire compensation structure comes to place. Now, our team leaders make about $500 to $1,200 a month. $500 to $1,200 a month. Some of you are thinking, I want to make way more than that. Guess how you're going to do that? You're going to help people to earn shares and become team leaders. So it's just these basic building blocks, okay? So 3 quick concepts I want you to understand. Concept number 1, there's a dollar to point ratio. Each of our products costs a dollar amount and then has a point value attached to that product. So this is an example. This is our cleanser. Our cleanser costs $11.99 and pays out 11 points. Is everyone with me? Now, you want this in your compensation structure. You want a point to dollar ratio. You don't want it to be dollar for dollar, and I'll tell you why. Because you want prices that the general population can actually afford. If you only do dollar for dollar payouts, what will happen is your pricing structure will go like this, and you'll only attract people exclusively. You won't attract customers. You'll only attract kind of business type people. And when all you have is kind of a conglomerate of people who are distributors consuming your product, no customers. There's no real retail end of the line customers. That structure is bound to fail at some point. It's bound to possibly go up, and it's certainly bound to go down. Okay? So you need to have a pricing structure that's built for the 95% of the population who are the real retail customers out there, and in a real value proposition that talks to them. So, dollar for points. Okay, we got that. Next thing is this. When you earn shares, it's what's called a 4 rolling weeks. I want to walk you through how this works. So today you're brand new, you have the next 4 weeks. If you've already been in the business, you have everything you do this week counts, and everything you did the last 3 weeks counts. Okay? So here, let's walk through this. Everything you do week 1 counts. Everything you do week 2 counts, right? You have 4 weeks. Everything you do week 3 counts. Everything you do week 4 counts. Everyone's with me so far. You have a rolling 4 weeks. So no matter when you join, you have 4 weeks to hit your goals and earn these shares. The shares go from Saturday to Saturday, Saturday to Saturday. Let me say something about these Saturdays. If you're a business owner, you want each year, each fiscal year to end really strong, right? Because you want your numbers this year to be better than they were last year. Any business owner would want that. Well, the way you do that is you have great quarters. You break your business into 4 quarters. You have really strong ends to each quarter, each push to end the year strong. Well, if you want to have strong quarters, you want to have strong months. At the end of each month, you really drive revenue, drive sales, drive performance at the end of each month to drive good quarters, to drive a good year, right? What if you drive each week strong? Each Saturday just ends super strong. These shares that MODERE pays out go from Saturday at midnight until Saturday at midnight. So guess what happens to MODERE's numbers every single Saturday? They spike every single Saturday. As a business owner, that's exactly what you want to happen in your business. If you spike each week, that's 52 weeks a year. That's a good year. Are you guys following that logic? You have spikes that can happen every single week in your business. Spikes up, you kind of normalize, spike, normalize. That makes a great month, then a great quarter, then a great year, okay? So what happens on week 5? All the work you do on week 5 counts, plus the last 3 weeks. You guys with me? So if you get to count what you do week 5 plus the last 3 weeks, guess what happens to week 1? When week 5 comes in, week 1 drops off. Does everyone see how it rolls, that rolling 4 weeks? Well, what happens on week 6 to week 2? So week 6 begins, you get to count everything you do week 6 plus the last 3 weeks, which means you lose week 2. Does everyone follow the logic so far? What happens on week 7 to week 3? In week 7, you get to count everything you do during week 7, plus you get to count your last 3 weeks. So that week falls off. So whether your person joins on the 1st of the month or the 19th of the month or the 27th of the month, they have a rolling 4 weeks to hit those shares, and you want your business to keep spiking each week. Okay, so first thing is dollars to points. We all got that, right? Rolling 4 weeks. Do we all understand that? Everything you do this week plus your last 3 weeks counts towards your shares. The last thing is we're going to go through a customer pod here in one moment. So how do you get your first? There's 2 ways to earn shares. What's the first way? Every time you have 8 customers and at least $500 worth of orders. With the box, it's every time you have 8 people that buy the box, you get a share. You guys with me? Every time 8 customers buy the box, they keep the box, you get a share. At least 8, at least $500. You need at least $500. Now, is that $500 from each customer? No, it's $500 accumulative between all of those customers. So what if you had 7 customers and $500? You wouldn't be there yet because you need the 8 customers. What if you had 8 customers but $400 worth of total business between all 8 of those? You would need the extra $100. Everyone following that logic? That's the first way to earn a share. So let's walk through this. The next thing I really want you to know, there's 3 things. Third thing is this, customer pod. This is some cool stuff you're about to see, okay? Customer pods. All the customers that you personally invite to MODERE using your little unique promotion code. When you invite them to experience the box, you invite them to check out the brand, when they use that link, whether it's from your social networks, from a text, from an email, whether you hand them one of your little customer cards, when they type in that code, they are now attached to you, okay? Not just their first purchase, but any purchase they make thereafter. Now, part of the beauty of MODERE is MODERE talks to your customers, actually markets to your customers, encouraging your customers to share the love with other customers. And the more your customers share, the more they save, okay? So your customers and their customers all count within your customer pod. Same thing with all of those customers, and those customers, etc., to an unlimited degree. So what if like a customer told a customer, told a customer, told a customer, 100 people away removed from you, all 100 count as if you personally introduced all 100 of them. You guys follow that? And check this out. All of those customers, they don't take up any levels within your organization. Like in a direct selling business, like a network marketing type business, those customers, you have to place them somewhere, like in your binary leg in your right leg or your left leg or on front level 1 or level 2, or you have to place them somewhere. In this business, your customers just grow like this and they all count as you. So let me give you an example. One of my good friends in California introduced a woman out of Dallas, Texas. She's personally introduced about 150 customers herself, used her link. She said to them, hey, try this brand, compare it to some other brands you're using, give me your feedback. Those customers have introduced other customers to the tune of a total about 350. My friend is paid on her order each month and all 350 of her customers each month as if it's her. That's really profound stuff, right? We'll over time have customer pods of thousands and possibly tens of thousands of people in one customer pod. As you'll have people who are good like with affiliate marketing come into your business. They'll attract literally thousands of customers, and you're not just paid once. Anytime any of those customers in your customer pod order, you're paid again and again and again. Now let me answer another question. Remember how you need 8 customers and $500 worth of orders to earn a share? What if your customers are introducing customers away from you? In other words, you haven't introduced someone, but your customers are introducing other customers. Do those count towards your 8? The answer is yes, right? So imagine how profound that is. You introduce someone to discover this new brand. They sample that box. They fall in love with it. And then you earn a share. You're like, what the heck just happened here? Because those customers started to receive, the more they share, the more they save. Do you know anybody that would love to save dollars through shopping credits on their everyday expenses, their everyday purchases each month? Absolutely you do. Like every person you know, right? The more your customers share, the more they save. All of those customers count as if they're your customer that you personally introduced, and you receive bonuses with those as they start to move up, okay? So, let's walk through this. In a normal network marketing compensation structure, you recruit people and you receive a percentage of their order, maybe 5% of their order. As you start to build out your customer pod, you can receive up to 42% of that customer pod, the point revenue in that customer pod. So think of this. When you hit what's called a bronze means you have $500 within that customer pod. $500 within that, 500 customer points, right? The orders, 500 points in that customer pod, you become what's called a bronze. You receive a 20% commission at this point. When you have 1,000 points, you become what's called a silver. Now here's what happens at silver. You get 20% commission on that entire customer pod. What if that customer pod grows to 10,000 or more a month? You still get the 20% of all of those customers, right? You get a $100 monthly bonus and a $100 quarterly bonus. Every 3 months that you hold it consistently, you get that $100 kicks in again. So when you're at 1,000 customer points within your customer pod, 20% commission plus $100 monthly plus a $100 quarterly bonus, okay? What about when that customer pod becomes 2,000? Then you become what's called a gold. At gold, you get 20% commission plus a $250 monthly bonus. Every month that you hit gold, you get the $250. Every month that you hold gold for 3 consecutive months, you get the $250 again at the end of those 3 months. So when I say at the end of a quarter, it doesn't have to be the end of a fiscal quarter, January, February, March, just any 3 consecutive months in a row, okay? When you have 3,000 points in your customer pod, you become what's called a platinum social marketer. The platinum social marketer gets paid 20% commission on all of the revenue in that customer pod and a $500 monthly bonus and a $500 quarterly bonus. Now let me share this. There is compensation structures in the network marketing world that have rank advancement bonuses. And when you hit that rank advancement bonus, they'll pay you off like a $5,000 bonus, that kind of thing, right? Let me ask, and when you receive that $5,000, you've received the rank advancement bonus. When you hit platinum, you get a $500 bonus. If you hit platinum next month, guess what you get? An extra $500 bonus. And then the next month, what if you hit platinum every month for a year? Just for hitting platinum every month for a year, not including your 20% commission, not including your quarterly bonuses. You just made $6,000 on just the $500 monthly bonus, right? What if you hit platinum every month for the next 10 years? You just made $60,000 from the $500. There's no limit to it. It's not like you hit it once and then you've earned it. Any month you hit platinum, it just continues to pay out every single month that $500 bonus. Now remember, I said there's 2 ways to earn shares. So let's go back to number 1. 8 customers and total of $500 worth of orders. That's number 1. Number 2 is every time you have 3 social marketers that join with you within that rolling 4 weeks that we talked about earlier. 3 social marketers that join, you're going to earn a share as well. Okay? So let's go through this. Remember what we started with? What do we need to do to make money? We need to learn how to earn shares and become a team leader. So we just covered the shares, the rolling 4 weeks, how the customer pod works, 8 customers, $500 worth of orders, or 3 social marketers. What I want to focus on now is team leader. What does it look like when you become a team leader, okay? There's a couple components of a team leader. This is when you've started to, as the name would imply, team leader, you're actually the leader of a team. You're actually developing a team. So you cannot become a team leader if all you have done is only acquired customers. Now why? Because you don't have a team yet, you have a ton of customers. Is that a bad thing to have a ton of customers? Of course not, that's fantastic. But to become a team leader, you have to at some point have brought out another social marketer and you're starting to develop a team of people as well, okay? So in this business, here's how it works. You need 3 things. You need 3,000 points. 3,000 points. Now you can count your own customer pod counts, all the revenue from your own customer pod counts, and then you need 3,000 points total within your first 3 levels. It's what's called OP3. OP3 stands for organizational points within 3 levels. OP3, okay? Now let me share this. Your first 3 levels are really important to you. They're really important in your business, those first 3 levels. So as you're building that, you want to build a really strong, very robust first 3 levels. I'll have a ton of revenue close. There's a lot of reasons for this. Basically, it's going to help to keep your check super high. As you teach your team to do that, it'll keep their check super high. our goal is not, for any of us, our goal is to build a true lasting residual income. It's not to, whoop, I've got a pin on my shirt and I'm broke, but I am, got a pin on my shirt, right? Like, you cannot cash the pin on your shirt, right? Your goal is to keep a healthy organization within your first 3 levels, okay? So here's the deal. You need at least 3,000. Now, if you introduce a social marketer, that social marketer plus their entire customer pod counts towards your 3,000. So all your social marketers and their customer pods, all that revenue counts towards you, okay? So you need 3,000. You can count 1,500 of it from your biggest team. So let me tell you what that means. If I introduce Ruthie, and Ruthie does 3,000 all by herself, and let's say it's within my first 3 levels, should I be a team leader? I'm what you call lucky. And I love Ruthie, right? I'm not a team leader. I'm not a competent professional at this. I haven't grown into anything. I probably don't even know how to spell MODERE yet, right? I just introduced Ruthie. She went out and did all the work. Who should make the money in that scenario is actually Ruthie, because she's the one that went out and did all the work, not me. I just got lucky. So for me to be a team leader, I need to develop at least another team that does at least 1,500 in revenue, so that I have 3,000 total, but 1,500 I can count from my biggest team. You guys see the logic in that? You don't want people to just ride someone else's hard work. The person that does the work in this plan is the one that should get the dollars, not someone else that just got lucky, right? So you want to build, to get rich, a lot of customers and a lot of competency. You want customers and competent people, competent leaders within your organization. The more competent, is that true, by the way, of any business? You want a ton of customers in any company that you're a part of, and you want a lot of competent leadership from your organization, because the more competent your business is, the better it's going to go, right? So you need 3,000 points. You need 1,500 from a max leg. Is everyone with me? When you hit team leader, you're going to get a $750 rank advancement bonus. This bonus is paid out over your first 3 months. So it's 250, 250, 250. As you hit and maintain team leader, you get 250 each time. The average income of a team leader is about $500 to $1,200 a month. If you want to build a really sticky business, have a whole bunch of people making $500 to $1,200 a month. Now that $500 to $1,200 does not include the $750 rank advancement. It also doesn't include any shares that they're earning. A lot of team leaders will earn way more with all their different bonuses. That's kind of just their monthly residual business. If you want to build a super sticky business, have a lot of people earning $500 to $1,200 a month. Because people, at that point, it's a great business for them, right? They're making an extra $12,000 a year. It's a really great business for them, okay? So is everyone clear on team leader? Team leader is 3,000 points, 1,500 from your biggest team. And from that, and you get to count your entire customer pod, all of your team's customer pods within your first 3 levels, your OP3. Okay. Remember what we get paid to do? 2 things: earn shares and become team leaders. You basically know the whole plan. Now let me just show you how to get really rich with this plan, okay? Within your first 3 levels, the biggest of your first 3 levels is going to, once you hit team leader, is going to get a dynamic 5% bonus. Now what I mean by dynamic is this. What if your second level, in this example, what if your second level has the most volume on it? So you have level 1, level 2, level 3. Level 2 has all the volume. There's more volume there. The computer will actually go up and down your first 3 levels at the end of the month. It will give you an additional 5% bonus on that biggest level. This will happen when you hit team leader and all the way through our director ranks. It's a huge bonus over time. This will make you a ton of dollars over time. The second thing is this. You can max out this entire compensation structure with 3 people. 3 different teams, you can max out the entire compensation structure. You could take yourself to $1 million a year in income with three people, right? Let me share this. You're going to build more stability and more strength as you eventually build a 4th team and a 5th team and a 6th team over time, if you choose to. The company will actually pay you more money to go do that. So if you want to start a 4th team when you become a team leader, you're going to make an additional override. So let me walk you through how this works. So in a normal compensation structure, you're going to make approximately 5% of the monthly revenue of your team. So if your team, for example, does $100,000 in sales, you're going to make approximately, now this doesn't include your bonuses and different things, but in basically any compensation structure, you make about 5%. You'll make basically $5,000 a month. This 4th leg, let's say that 4th team, over time you build a team that did $100,000 in sales. As a team leader, you'd make an additional 2%. You'd make 7% override on that team. So instead of making $5,000 a month, you'd make $7,000 a month from that one team. When you become a director, you make an additional 3%. So So instead of making 5%, you'd make 8. So instead of making $5,000 a month, you'd make $8,000 a month from that team. When you become an elite social marketer, you make an additional 4%. You almost double what you make on those fourth lines and beyond. Instead of making 5,000, you'd be making 9 on that fourth team and beyond. Let me just say this. There's people in this room that this fourth team and beyond bonus will mean thousands of extra dollars in your pocket. There's others who it'll mean tens of thousands, some of you hundreds of thousands of additional dollars. There's people in this room that will make millions and millions because of that fourth team. Because what will happen is you'll eventually build a fourth team, and you'll build a fifth team, and a sixth team, and a seventh team. Can you imagine the leverage you have as you kind of get your business started? You call someone and you say, look, I'm doing great with this new social retail business. I love it. And I'm going to personally mentor one person for the next 6 months. And I'd love it to be you. We've been friends for a while. If you're if you're serious, you really would like to do it with me, I'll help you for the next 6 months, and we're going to do it. You get that team solidified, you call someone else. Look, I'm going to personally mentor someone for the next few months. I'd love for it to be you. Do you see kind of the difference in the power you have when you actually are developing your business as opposed to, please, will you please join me? I need someone to join me. I beg you. This extra bonus is huge. Okay, let me share this. If that didn't all make sense to you, all you need to know is 2 things. Earn shares and become a team leader, okay? Now, let me talk to the person in here that's saying, I would really like to learn how to make like a 6-figure type income. Or the person here saying, I'd like to make a multiple 6-figure income. Or the person here saying, I'd like to eventually build a 7-figure type annual business, annual income. Well, guess what you're going to teach people to do? To earn shares and become a team leader. This business is actually really simple. So when you're done here today, I want you to know 2 things. I want you to know earn shares and become a team leader. It's an earn and become business. Earn shares, become team leader. Earn shares, become team leader. What are you going to teach your team? Have anyone ever had someone call you and they say, so you just walk me through the entire compensation structure? Guess what you need to tell them? There's 2 things you need to learn, you need to do. Earn shares and become a team leader. That's it. That's it. Anyone sitting here today, guess what you need to do as soon as we walk out of here? Earn shares and become a team leader. Everything else kind of just happens as you do that and as you teach that. You understand? First you do, then you teach. Then you do, then you teach. Earn shares, become a team leader. So let's walk through this. There's progressions. It goes like this. Team leader, then it goes director, and it goes elite. So like on your paper, I'd write team leader, director, elite. Here's kind of how the whole compensation structure works. Director, or a team leader, director, elite. There's 3 levels of director. There's 3 levels of what we call an elite social marketer. So basically director 1, 2, 3, elite 1, 2, 3. Okay, is that simple enough? 3 titles, director, team leader, director, elite. That's all you need to know, okay? Let's walk through how do you hit these. Now again, what are you going to teach? How are you going to teach your team to get there? You're going to teach them how to earn shares, become team leader. This is why. When you develop your first team leader team, you become what's called the director 1. Now at this point, you have 12,000 in total organizational volume. Remember we talked about that OP3, organizational points within your first 3 levels? This 12,000 counts your entire group, everybody, unlimited amount of levels, that 12,000, okay? You still need to have your OP3 yourself, your 3,000 yourself, but you can count all the way down for this. At this point, between now and the end of February of next year, the company's doing these different bonuses to help for people who are kind of see the vision of where social retail is going and want to be part of the launch of this. So you get a $1,500 cash bonus paid out over 3 months when you hit Director 1. So how did you hit Director 1? You helped somebody to do what? To earn some shares and become a team leader, right? Exactly right. How do you hit Director 2? You're going to teach somebody else how to earn shares and become a team leader, okay? So when you hit Director 2, it's a second team. Now let me point something out. If any of you ever been in that situation, I came from a company when I was in network marketing, and if you didn't personally sponsor the person, you were in big trouble. So like I sponsored someone, and then they, on my 4th or 5th or 6th level was someone really, really good. And I used to call the person back, please, Sheila, work hard. Please, I beg you, rank advance so I can make more money. What's wrong with you? She goes, I don't like to. I just like to do nothing and just sit on this whole huge team down here. Sheila, you're holding me back from my dreams. So here's the thing. If someone on your 6th level is the one that does it, not your next door neighbor, who's the one you introduced, it's fine. All you need is a team leader somewhere in that team. When you have one team leader in that team, the whole team counts, right? So you never have to call and have that awkward conversation with Sheila, right? That whole team counts. To become a director 3, or director 3, you get the $3,000 bonus. To become a director 3, you develop another team leader. How do you do that? You teach them how to earn shares and become a team leader, right? At that point, you get a $6,000 bonus. You have 50,000 points. You can count 35,000 from your max team. Now, how many teams do you have at this point? 3, right? How do you go elite 1? How do you jump from director to elite? Here's how. You keep teaching people how to earn shares, become team leader, and your volume increases with the same 3 teams. Now, can you start as 4th and 5th? Of course you can, but you can max this deal out with 3 teams, okay? At this point, you have 100,000 in volume. You can count 70,000 from your biggest team, and at this point, you get a $12,000 bonus, paid out $4,000 a month, right? By the way, E1's probably making 10, 12, 13, 14,000 a month plus the bonus, okay? E1's happy. You love yourself at that point. So at E2, 200,000 in volume, you have 3 teams still. You can count 140 from a max leg. At this point, you're making a really great income for yourself. You still have been teaching people to earn shares and become team leader, right? And you get a $30,000 rank advancement bonus when you hit this, $10,000 a month for 3 months, okay? Lastly is E3. Okay, so E3 says 3 teams, 400,000 in revenue, 3 teams, 1 team leader somewhere in the team. You've been teaching people how to earn shares and become a team leader. You get a $75,000 rank advancement. You can count 280,000 from max leg. This is the easiest compensation structure in the history of mankind to understand how to get there. 1 team leader in the team, and then we start to fill out the volume, fill out the revenue, have the customers and the social marketer revenue come in, okay? Now, when this happens, what happens is you have filled out what I call a brick of volume. So I'm introducing a new term, a brick of volume. A brick of volume just means this. You get all these different percentages. I'm not even going to spend a lot of time on all the percentages, but you get all these little percentages and you get paid 5% on all these different little orders that are all over on those different levels. Your goal is to fill out a humongo brick of volume, okay? When you hit E3, the average income of an E3 is between $50,000 to $120,000 a month. That's a happy day, right? So, now, if I can blow your mind for a second, I'd like to, okay? Now, at this point, you're getting paid all of your customer pod. You're getting paid that entire brick of volume, all of your rank advancement bonuses, right? And then now let's talk about this leadership development bonus. You get paid to develop leaders within an organization in MODERE because there's 2 things that create residual income. Number 1, true customer orders. Number 2, competent leaders. And so we want to incentivize you to build leadership within your organization. So here's how it works. Let's say that you become an E3. That's a happy thought, right? You're an E3. Now here's the deal. When you become a director 1, this is when this begins. You start to receive the leadership development bonus when you become a director 1. But I'm going to use an exaggerated example to kind of see if I can illustrate the point. When you become a director 3, you get all of your customer pod, your entire 8-level deep unilevel, that entire brick of volume, so that 50,000 some odd dollars a month, plus this. Let's say that down on your 5th level in one of your teams is another E3. In other words, you're an E3 and in one of your teams is an E3. That's even a happier day, right? Well, guess what? That E3 is making, let's say, $50,000 themselves a month because they're an E3. They're in your group. You're going to receive a 22% match on their monthly unilevel check, their monthly residual check. So if their monthly residual check is $50,000 a month, you will receive an $11,000 bonus every month that they get that check. And so that's pretty good, right? Now remember I said I want to see if I could blow your mind. What if they have an E2 below them? Let's say that E2 is making $30,000 a month. You would receive a 20% match on that 30. That's $6,000 a month, in addition to the 11, in addition to your entire unilevel, in addition to your entire customer pod. Okay? What if under that E2 is an E1? You'd receive an 18% match on their monthly check. What if under that E1 is a director 3? You'd receive a 16% match on their monthly unilevel residual check. Under that director 3 is a director 2, you receive a 14% match on them. Under that director 2 is a director 1, a 12% match on them. And you receive a 10% match on every single team leader in that entire organization. So, that's a happy day, right? Now check this out. At this point, What if that team leader down there says to you, hey, I'm a star, and you see it in them? Most compensation structures, if you go down there and work with them, you actually aren't even paid on those people. So you're just doing like out of the goodness of your heart. In fact, you can't even do it. I had in my prior business, I had, it'd be the equivalent of like a director 3. Whenever this woman hit director 3, I had 2 director 3s, the equivalent in the line. Whenever the bottom one would hit director 3, I would lose $4,000 a month in income. When she would qualify, I would lose $4,000. And people said, you shouldn't complain about that. You have 2 director 3s in one group, you selfish bugger. And I thought, that's $50,000 a year in income. Like, I'm sort of complaining. That sucks, right? That's how most compensation structures are. The more that your team succeeds, over time, actually, the less dollars you'll receive. I know that sounds strange, but the volume is pushed away from you, and you'll receive less of it. The bigger your team gets, the bigger ranks you can help them to achieve, the more dollars you receive. You guys follow me? That's the right behavioral logic you want when you're building a compensation structure. Now check this out. Let's say that that entire line, that entire E3 organization, let's put it up into a box, this red box. Okay, so you have you as an E3 plus that E3 and their entire group. Because you actually don't just check match on them, you can check match on their entire group, okay? Well, guess what? What if below that E3's group is another E2? You check match 20% on their check. What if below that's a D1, you 12% on theirs, all their team leaders 10%, 10%, another director 3, 16, another E1, 18%, all the way down to a second E3. You check match on the E3, their entire group, all the way down to the second E3 in that one line. That's a happy little business when you have 2 E3s in one line, okay? So the first E3, their check plus their whole group. The second E3, just their check. You have to leave their group to somebody else, okay? Let me ask you this question. What if this E3, for the sake of an example, is on your 100th level, just for the sake of an illustration? What if they are 100 levels below you? And you're receiving, so they're being paid their 8 levels, and you're receiving a 22% match of their 8-level check. You are now receiving 108 levels of compensation, a percentage on 108 levels worth of orders. So do you think you could make $1 or $2 in social retail? Like, this plan will build some of the largest incomes that this industry of social retail has ever seen, I assure you of that. And I'll tell you this, that the direct selling, this will become the model that other people will chase. You hear Justin, Sarah, and us talk about will be the model others will chase, the models from the e-commerce because they won't have the power of people, and the model from direct sales because they won't have the power of what we can do. Now, let me answer 2 questions real quick. Question number 1, have you guys modeled this? Is this going to hold up? The answer is yes. Not only did we model it, but check this out. Although we're a startup company, in other words, we're a new company, we're not a startup company. We're new but not a startup. Now, here's why. We modeled this against real data. $300 million of real data. Most startup companies, what they do is they model against assumptions. They basically say things like, so if 3 get 3 get 3, what will happen, right? Well, guess what? In this model, that's not what happened. We had real organizations with real people over real time and distance that we could press against these modeling and see what really happened with real people. Because does anyone ever notice it doesn't always just happen 3 who get 3 who get 3? Sometimes this leg takes off, that one doesn't, this one does well, down on the 7th levels where it happened. Has anyone ever seen that? We modeled against real data, and the plan holds up magnificently well. Let me tell you the second reason, number 2. This is the reason that direct sales will chase this model. When a direct seller buys from a direct selling company, buys a product, they're expecting 3 things. A good product, good service, if you will, shipped on time, and they're also expecting to make $1. They threw money into the machine. They would like to earn some commission. You guys with me? When you buy from an e-commerce site, what are you expecting as a customer? You're expecting 2 things: a great product with good service. When you have millions and millions of customers that aren't expecting compensation, do you know what that means? That means there's more dollars in the machine to pay a community of social marketers. That's why this model holds up. It's because there's real customers. So this is the new model. This is the model that everyone else will chase, okay? So let's just end with, what do we need to do? We need to earn shares. The entire compensation structure unlocks when you learn how to earn shares and become a team leader, to as big of a business as you feel comfortable and as your dreams and aspiration and goals and skill set that you can develop will take you to over time. So thank you guys so much.